transformed, not ended. That's a phrase that we use in our funeral liturgies, where we believe that life goes on, but not in the same way that we experience it. It's transformed. And it would also be applicable to the feast that brings us here this evening. Christ was transformed after his death, actually in two different phases. After the resurrection, he was present, but something was different about him because people did not recognize him right away. Mary in the garden, or the disciples on the road to Emmaus. And yet, he was really there. He ate with them. He broke bread with them. Then there's a second transformation, perhaps a completion of the one begun with resurrection. It's the ascension. The scriptures proclaim that shortly after the resurrection, this physical presence of Christ ended. He was transformed to another existence. And in keeping with the understanding of the physical science of the day, they said he ascended into heaven. But the presence of God among us wasn't ended. It was transformed. It's transformed into the present of the Spirit, the feast that is 10 days from now with Pentecost. It can be said that the presence of Christ was transformed from his physical presence to his mystical presence, the church. He's present in you and me. And what we celebrate today and complete on with the Feast of Pentecost is the beginning of a new era, the beginning of the church. So it's not so much a time to stand looking up to the heavens, as one of the gospel pericopes states, and wondering where Christ might be. It's really a time to look into the eyes of our brothers and sisters and see the Christ present in them. It's a time for you and me to become the healing hands of Christ, reaching out to those in need. It's time to become the giving Christ to those who have nothing. It's a time to be the hope of Christ to those who are in the darkness of despair. Christ's presence here on earth is not ended, it is transformed. But his presence will only really be felt if you and I become the Christ for the other.